Hi, I'm Caitlin. My purpose in this video is to critique Becky Livingston's 2010 Using Web 2.0 Technologies article that was written for InfoLine. I'm going to talk about keywords such as Web 2.0, social media, training, technology, online blended learning, and presentations. I'm going to begin by telling you a bit about the strengths that I saw with the article. Then I'll move on to the weaknesses and end with a suggestion for further research. I'll use my personal and work experience and local events to enhance my arguments wherever they're relevant. First, I'm going to talk about some of the strengths that I saw in the article. The first one that I saw that was very evident was explaining how Web 2.0 to this author is more than just social media. It's about integrating technology into our lives. For example, it tells about how integrating technology can provide learners with an experiential type of learning where they know how it applies to their life and career. The author spoke specifically about how this can be good for kinesthetic learners. By integrating our learning into our daily life and careers, it's a benefit for everyone, though. We're seeing experiential learning more and more at the university level, where there's a focus on things like practicum, co-ops, and other experiential-based learnings. When we apply this type of knowledge to technology, we realize we need to experiment with technology in order to learn how to integrate it into our daily life. The author even notes that technology has become a part of our everyday life. We make our decisions differently based on it. The author uses the example of book reviews. I'm sure we all remember the days when we used to go into Barnes & Nobles or Borders and read the back covers and the side covers of books to figure out which books we were interested in. We might even go down certain aisles based on what we were interested in. Now, like most people, I read comments on Amazon and download something immediately to my Kindle. Much more convenient and definitely an advancement based on technology. The author also uses concrete examples of how social media can be incorporated into the classroom. She talks about how a professor used a TweetDeck in a classroom in an innovative way that I'd never heard of before, but it sounds very innovative and interesting and something I definitely would like to do. The author also notes that technology can provide unique ways to evaluate staff. Not only can we track creative ideas, but we can also keep track of data points. At my workplace, for example, we use an online learning system in order to ensure that all staff are getting consistent, reliable training. In Kansas, for example, every year we do a severe weather plan that helps remind our staff where they need to go in the building if the tornado siren goes off. The system that we use for online learning is called Relias, and it easily allows us to upload PowerPoints and videos that are specific to what we feel we need to know. In addition, we can create quizzes to ensure that our employees have learned the objectives we expected them to. Relias also allows a user, their supervisor, and any administrator to track what courses they have done and what scores they received on their quizzes, which is pretty interesting and fun. In addition, users can enter external training. This is a feature I use all the time. As a social worker, I have to complete a certain number of continuing education courses. Some of them have to be even in certain specific criteria. So, for example, I have to do 6 hours of safety and 8 hours of diagnostic. So I can easily enter what trainings I've been in and then label them based on what continuing education they qualify for. The author also notes that if we use technology in our teaching, either presentations, workplace, or schoolwork, we need to ensure that we're being innovative in our use. The author describes what she calls profile fatigue, where individuals are sick of filling out personal information about themselves. She even notes that people can feel connected by having an online presence, which is quite interesting. Profile fatigue seems pretty similar to what we often find at our new employee orientation, for example. People are asked all day where they work and what their hobbies are by different administrative staff, which can be quite taxing, and I think they tend to get sick of it time after time, so that seems to make sense to me. Well, there's a lot of great strengths with the article. I just want to highlight a few weaknesses. For example, the author doesn't provide advice for situations where using Web 2.0 technologies in learning is out of their control. So, for example, at my work site, we don't have access to Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube on our work computers. This means if we want to integrate this into our learning, we can't. It would be great to know if there are any strategies that could be employed to talk to administrators or supervisors about allowing more social media, since it clearly has some benefits that the author has noted. People may also be wary of using social media since there are many legal cases where it's been used against people. Recently on the nightly news, there was a case of a teenager who had used Facebook to talk about a legal settlement that her parents had won, and how they were going to use the money to go to Europe. And now the attorney for the other side is saying that they had a non-disclosure agreement and they want the settlement money returned. Additionally, in Kansas, as reported by the Wichita Business Journal, the Board of Regents have created a new policy that would allow university leaders to be dismissed if they post something that is deemed to be in conflict with university interests. Both of these policies likely leave people feeling cautious about what they say online and who they allow to view it. The author's suggestion of using a tweet deck in courses or presentations may make professionals who are aware of new policies and new items unwilling to try innovative technology for fear of repercussion if they, or even a participant, say, tweet, or type the wrong thing. The author also notes that there could be cost savings associated with Web 2.0 in learning. However, it's possible, as noted by Adams and Sperling in an earlier 2003 article, that using technology will most likely not be cheaper than a typical classroom, since the people using it will have to be trained how to use it effectively. So, for example, with the online learning that I talked about at my work, we currently save a lot of money since our staff doesn't have to use mileage to travel back and forth to administration anymore. However, there were a lot of upfront costs to train our administration, and also now for our administration to train any current staff that we want to be able to use the system. So, although there are likely more questions that need to be answered to implement technology in teaching than this article can necessarily answer, it does present a clear and concise view of what Web 2.0 learning is and can be. For future research or information, it would be great to see how individuals could showcase these strategies to their upper management, and is suggested. Again, this has been a review of Becky Livingston's Using Web 2.0 Technologies, and I'm Caitlin. Thanks for listening.